The question is from this lady Padma. How to deal with hurt feelings, which includes I hurt others and I too get hurted. Though I know it's not good, but it happens. What to do under such situation?
So, well, some people are, it's not people really, some situation of, we have a hard time to learn things, quickly. The Buddha compares it to training a horse. And you have horses, as soon as they hear, there are 4 types of horses. And I haven't read the sutta for a while, so I'm sure I remember the main gist of it. But the first horse, as soon as he hears the sound of the, called in in English, the whip. Yeah. As soon as he hears the sound of the whip, he does exactly what his master wants him to do. If he's asked to trot or to run or something, he will obey the trainer straight away, just hearing the sound of the whip. Another one, as soon as they get a little whip, sort of knock on their back. Not much gentle, not such a difficult. I used to say, I think I correspond to the 4th horse. Not because I wanted to be modest, it's just realizing that I was really stubborn. I mean, it was I was stubborn. Eyes come and go, but at the time, the habit was, not every time, sometimes noticed, that to do something that somebody was asking me to do, depending if it was a woman and a man even, or a monk or a nun, or lay, depending if it was a questioner even, depending on conditions, I would manifest as the 4th horse. Or even not on external conditions, but noticing the repeat of my own behavior. Repeats, like this lady is asking, even though, I'm hurt by people, I hurt them back, and I keep doing it. That sounds so familiar to me. You know that all yourself. But it has to do with fast learning. And fast learning comes together with noticing the hurt. How the pain, how much do I want to carry on pain? Reflect on that. Do I want to live my life constantly hurt and hurting others? Is that what the precepts are advocating me to do? No. The basic fundamental kind of directions of our life as a person on the path is to be a non-harming human being, harmless human being, ahimsa, So why would we want to carry on the same old habit to be violent, hurtful to others, and so on? Sometimes we're not even hurtful, but people may be interpreting our action or speech as unkind or even violent. But at some level, your own conscience will know whether that intention was there or not, Especially if you're a meditator, you can go a little deeper than what you think. And you can see a little deeper underneath the surface whether your intention, the emotion you had behind it, caused an intention that was unkind. or hurtful. So it's a matter of recognizing that we might be just a slow learner. Sorry. Okay? Not a big deal. Sometimes we learn very quickly, sometimes we don't get it so quickly. That's all. Right? Certain things we may have already cultivated, in this life for many years. I know one nun, she started to develop right speech when she was about 10 or 12. Didn't happen to me. It's quite a free-spirited family. We were polite, of course, because we were brought up. My parents were brought up well, and I was brought up well too. But the emotions were not sort of hidden, or the emotions were not a problem. Feelings and so on. So I would say to this lady, now that you have recognized the problem, you have really diagnosed your situation well enough, now the hard work begin. Can I be mindful when I get hurt, for example? This is something I've practiced with many years, when you get hurt and you realize that seeing the hurt is more important than lashing back at somebody to hurt them. Because when you do that, you keep recreating the same old pattern. Do you understand? So now that when you know that this particular pattern ends up into misery, if you're a quick learner, you might not repeat it too often before you decide to go another way. But the other way is not always so easy because, let's face it, we have many obstacles for us to get in touch with what we really want to say to each other. Right? Very often we don't have the vocabulary, not to mention the emotional vocabulary. We get hurt, and then we harden our heart. Then there's a kind of vengeance behind all this, just sneaking its head out, poking its head out, want to revenge. If they hurt me, I want to hurt them. Even though you know better, the habit is blind. Do you understand? The habit is blind. You have to catch the habit before it has blinded you. Right? The habit blinds us. It's blind and it blinds us. If there is no, light of mindfulness on it, if there is no clear seeing, clear knowing, clear understanding, that's what happened. Again and again and again, the whole world moves. Hurt, I hurt. Warm. It's a real deep sickness in the heart of human being, That's what the Buddha taught. I undertake the precept to refrain from harming any living creatures. Now, does that include your mother-in-law? Or living creatures? She doesn't belong to living creatures. You're ready. She's dead already, but she keeps stirring up the pot of misery in your mind. Or your father-in-law, for that, Yeah? See both sides. Maybe the father-in-law, mother-in-law. Yeah. Or friends, good friends. Suddenly you can be so disappointed. You projected on your friend that they were really. It happened to me several times. You see a nun and you kind of project onto her. She's intelligent. She's cultured, educated, intelligent. She's spiritual and so on. And then one day you talk to her to tell her about something, and she has a reaction. It's so disappointing. It leaves me absolutely, devastated. By the way, the nun I'm talking about is not here, or at Amaravati, or in England, or in India, for that matter. So, this projection we have on each other, that's why we get hurt often, because we do have a lot of ideals about each other, And not only we don't take responsibility for our ideals, but we accuse other people to disappoint us. Not having checked whether this ideal was a reality or whether it was just a dream, awake, with the eyes open. You dreamed this person, So, I think it's probably enough. Huh? So I would say just go back and take the first precept every day. Right? I refrain from harming any living creatures. Then check when is hurt. Can you see hurt as a first noble truth, or do you see hurt as she has caused me the problem and it's her fault? This person seemed to know better than that, obviously. So perhaps once you know that you know better than that, but you still act on it, then now you have to really look into a word. There's another Pali word called samvara. S-A-M-V-A-R-A. And samvara is a word that is translated as restraint. It's a wise restraint. Not repression, not pushing away, not holding to other ideals. Samvara is a samana, way of seeing what is unskillful, not repressing it, and not acting on it, and trust that your mind will help you to find a way out of this misery once you let go of, when you're just about to break the precept one more time. It happens much more simply than this, at some point, there's a boredom that can take place with the same old pattern of our habits. We get weary of it. We just had enough. So sometimes it goes to a long way. You're so weary, you could quit your wife or your husband or your lifestyle or whatever because you can't cope. You're just tired of it. Isn't it? Get tired of hurting people, being hurt, and so on. I want to tell this person a little tip of mine, is that I have had a true insight in that the only thing that is hurt in one's world is I. It's possible to function without being attached to an I. Okay, I come and go. But the only real, if you start looking at this in this way, I started looking at this in this way because I saw it very clearly at some point. The only thing that can be hurt is I. So if you want to know whether you still have an I or not an I, you're still attached to I or not, then every time it hurts, there's an attachment there. It's hard. It's really painful. And, can be hurt, but not attached to it. You can see it's like nature. When I get something I don't want, naturally I feel unpleasant. Right? Hurt is a deeper level of unpleasantness. It's like I feel crushed. Doesn't feel very good. Somebody maybe traumatized me by just a simple word. She just looked at you or he looked at you, suddenly you feel something really bizarre. So, I hope she understands this lady, yeah. It's also on video as well.
प्रश्न था कि अपनी जो फीलिंग्स हर्ट हो जाती हैं उसको कैसे हैंडल किया जाए। कभी उन्होंने कहा कि कभी मैं हर्ट हो जाती हूँ, फिर मैं दूसरों को हर्ट करती हूँ, ये बार बार हो रहा है। तो आपने उत्तर दिया कि जो ऐसा भावनाएं आहत होती हैं वो सामान्यतः सिचुएशंस के कारण होती हैं और कई बार हम हर्ट होने के बाद भी सीखते नहीं हैं, तो मुख्य कारण वो होता है। तो सूत्र का दृष्टांत बताया कि एक सूत्र में भगवान कहते हैं कि एक घोड़े बेचने वाले को 4 तरह के घोड़े होते हैं। एक ऐसा होता है जो कि सिर्फ चाबुक की आवाज सुन के ही अपना काम करना शुरू कर देता है। दूसरा होता है जिसको हल्का सा चोट लगने की जरूरत होती है। तीसरे को बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत होती है और चौथा ऐसा होता है कि जब तक उसके शरीर से खून ना बहना शुरू हो जाए तब तक वो मानता नहीं है। तो ये हठी स्वभाव की बात है, हठी स्वभाव ऐसा होता है। तो अजान कहती रही थी कि मैं भी इसी, मुझे स्वभाव भी करीब करीब ऐसा ही था कि, और यही था कि लोग मुझे लगता था कि लोग मुझे हर्ट कर रहे हैं तो मैं फिर उनको हर्ट कर रही हूँ। और इस परिस्थिति का सॉल्यूशन जो है वो नोट करने से ही कि मैं आहत हो रहा हूँ या आहत हो रही हूँ, और फिर उस पर रिफ्लेक्ट करने से बात बनती है। हम सभी लोग एक शील लेते हैं कि मैं किसी भी प्राणी को कष्ट नहीं दूंगा, किसी की हिंसा का व्यवहार नहीं करूंगा। तो वो प्रीसेप्ट हम बार बार भूल क्यों जाते हैं? तो उसकी ओर उन्होंने ध्यान दिलाया कि हमको ध्यान से सोचना चाहिए। कई बार हालांकि वो ये भी कहा कि कई बार हमारा इंटेंशन नहीं होता हर्ट होने का, फिर दूसरा हर्ट हो जाता है। लेकिन अगर हम ठीक से देखने की प्रक्रिया हमारी साथी अच्छी हो तो हम जान सकते हैं गहराई से कि क्या हमारा इंटेंशन हर्ट करने का था या नहीं था। तो उससे भी स्पष्टता आती है। अगर मन की आदत है कि वो स्लो लर्नर है तो फिर जरूर थोड़ा टाइम ज्यादा लगता है। और ये बेसिकली कौन सी आदतें हम कल्टीवेट करती हैं, कौन सी आदतों का हम बार बार अभ्यास करते हैं। उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया कि एक नन थी जो बचपन से ही राइट स्पीच सम्मा वाचा को कल्टीवेट करती थी। तो स्वाभाविक है उनका भविष्य जैसे बड़े हुई तो उनको वाणी में अपने आप संयम रहता था। फिर आपने कहा कि एक बार जब हमने प्रॉब्लम डायग्नोज कर ली है तो फिर उसका सोल्यूशन भी स्पष्ट आ जाता है कि भाई मुझे सजग रहना चाहिए, आई शुड बी माइंडफुल व्हेन आई गेट हर्ट। और उसको देख पाना, हर्ट को देख पाना, आहत होने को देख पाना, वो ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण है। ज्यादा इससे क्या उस पर रिस्पॉन्ड करें और उस दूसरे को सबक सिखाने की बात करने ज्यादा सामान्यता होता है। उन्होंने बताया कि हमको मालूम भी पड़ जाता तो कई बार हमारी ऐसी इमोशनल वोकैबुलरी नहीं होती, ऐसे शब्द नहीं हमको सूझते कि क्या करें। और जो क्योंकि शब्द नहीं सूझते तो हम फिर जो सामान्य हमारा बिहेवियर है कि दूसरे से बदला लेना, एक आदत है सी बनी हुई है, वो हमारे पे हावी हो जाती है। और फिर वही आदतें बार बार रिपीट होती रहती हैं। तो उन्होंने बताया कि जो मैं एक साधारण सा और लेकिन बहुत प्रभावशाली बात हो सकती है कि हम जब वो प्रीसेप्ट लेते हैं कि मैं दूसरे को, किसी भी प्राणी को हर्ट नहीं करूंगा तो या हार्म नहीं करूंगा, तो उस प्रीसेप्ट को हम सिंसियरली लें कि उसमें सभी प्राणी की बात होती है, कुछ प्राणी विशेष बात नहीं होती। तो उसमें आपकी सास और ससुर भी आते हैं और लोग भी आते हैं जो कि आपको लगता है कि इनसे व्यवहार ठीक नहीं हो रहा है। तो किसी को भी हर्ट नहीं करना है, ये बात हमको ख्याल रखनी चाहिए। और कई बार आहत होने का मुख्य कारण ये होता है कि हम दूसरे के प्रति एक इमेज बना लेते हैं कि उसको ऐसा है, वो ऐसी है या ऐसा है, ऐसा उसका व्यवहार होगा। और जब उस अनुसार वो व्यवहार नहीं करता तो हमको हर्ट होता है या आहत हो जाते हैं, डिसअपॉइंट हो जाते हैं। तो आपका सुझाव यही है कि जब भी हमसे आहत हो जाए और हम किसी को आहत करें तो हमको फिर से शील लेना चाहिए कि हम किसी को हर्ट नहीं करेंगे, प्राणी की हिंसा नहीं करेंगे। तो बार बार जब इस तरह से करेंगे तो ये बात हृदयंगम हो जाती है कि हाँ मुझे ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए। और फिर मुझे समझ में आने लगता है कि ये जो मैं हर्ट करता हूँ दूसरों को, उससे मुझे भी बहुत हर्ट होता है। और उसके लिए जो भगवान ने सम्यक व्यायाम बताया है संवर का, कि वी शुड रेस्ट्रेन। संवर जैसे हम सब हिंदी में भी संवर शब्द इस्तेमाल करते हैं कि वाणी का संवर, शरीर का, काया का संवर, मन का संवर, कि हम उसको रेस्ट्रेन करें, सप्रेस नहीं करें, रेस्ट्रेन करें। और अंततः जब आदमी बहुत बार इस तरह का व्यवहार करता है और उससे दुखी होता है तो एक हद तक निर्वेद भाव भी जागता है कि मैं क्यों बार बार कर रहा हूँ। तो उससे छुटकारा पाने का एक रास्ता खुलता है। लेकिन असली रास्ता तो उससे ही खुलेगा कि अगर हम उसको ठीक से इन्वेस्टिगेट करें तो पाएंगे कि जो हर्ट होता है वो कौन हर्ट हो रहा है, और पता चलेगा कि ये सिर्फ एक ईगो है, जो आई का भाव है, जो अहम का भाव है, वही हर्ट होता है हर परिस्थिति में। अल्टीमेटली बात गाड़ी वहीं जाके रुकती है। तो अगर हम उस बात को ठीक से देख लें, अनात्म बोध को ठीक से समझें, तो हर्ट होगी काफी कम हो जाता है।
Next question is by Shweta. She had met you last night. My question is related to what I heard you rightly say in the morning about the grumpy or the very serious and uptight look we tend to have while meditating. That meanness or stinginess with a smile look as we tensely occupy the cushion, probably conscious about the impression of our performance on the supervising teacher. I think this behavior might have something to do with the way we are brought up right through school and how we define good behavior in front of teachers, parents, or elders in general and in our society. As well-mannered and ideal students who secretly desire and aspire to be respected by one and all and liked by one and all, we try our utmost best to appear to be all docile, mentally passive, or dead serious in front of elders who we deeply respect and want to emulate, especially the Dhamma teachers. In a nutshell, we tend to get conscious about our looks during the meditation hour, and as if on autopilot mode, we don't smile. Requesting you, Venerable Ajahn, is to please help us in loosening up a bit on the cushion at least, so that we beat ourselves up a little less over appearances and let go of this whole fear-driven notion of what perception the Dhamma teacher will have of us in case he or she caught us smiling, or may I add, looking a little non-serious during sitting meditation. Thank you.
Wow. I think if I summarize it in my own way, why do we have to make ourselves so miserable to please others, right?
Same I coming again.
Sorry?
Same I which you mentioned coming in different.
That's right, that's right. So, I recognize the whole society, is behind those words. I mean, it's a problem that people have, but, in a way, society is like it's like a circus, in a way. I see it as a stage, more and more. I didn't feel I could ever fit into the world because I didn't want to play too many characters, I didn't like the idea of having to play many characters. You're polite with one, you end up being rude with that one. Then you want to study with this one, you don't want with that one, you want to criticize them. You want to be wonderful and pleasing, and then there's some rebellious and naughty and cheeky and so on. So many things you like to be. You want to be sexy, and then after that you get fed up with that. You want to be attractive, then blame the guy for being, pushing you into being attractive. Right? It's because of him. They want me like this, and you don't realize that maybe you want yourself to be like this too. So, I can see that the life is a role-playing things. The way you have to be with your children, the tender mother, the kind mother, or the authoritarian mother. Then with your partner, your husband, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, and so on. Mother-in-law is well known everywhere, isn't it? As soon as I talk about mother-in-law, there's kind of incredible sense of something that no one doesn't dare talking about. But what I mean is that's what I learned as a Buddhist nun. I realized that one thing that I found I I wish that we have in common, whether we like each other or not, whether we like ourselves or not, we need to respect ourselves. And that is not easy, to respect ourselves. You know, the thing that happened to us, the hurt, you know, the feeling that people don't take you seriously, the feeling that people disagree or criticize you and so on, you know. We have to learn how to deal with these things, because life is not going to be so special for you. Do you know, this is going to happen wherever you are. The Buddha himself says, there's nobody in the world that has not been criticized. Famous sutta. I can't quote it by heart, but it was really refreshing when you hear something like that, you know. Just give up on not wanting to be criticized, because no matter where you are in society, where you stand, you will be criticized. So you have to toughen up a bit, you know. You know, look at who is high up in the scale of society, you know, or any authority for that matter, in the hierarchical scale, will be criticized. I have been criticized so many times, you know. It's amazing you come out alive through this process. But then that's when, you know, maybe that's why I became a nun. I had a strong tool with the Dhamma, you know. The world doesn't stop because you become a nun or you become a monk, you know. And the higher you go into this hierarchical, social hierarchical format, you know, it doesn't spare you in any way. So, I think we expect too much from society. Society is made up of people who are quite delusionary. Delusionary. Delusional, that's right. That's the one. Delusional, you know. And so we expect an awful lot from everyone, you know, up in the politics, in the university, and, you know, we expect super human beings. But in actuality, they're just like you and me and anybody else. They suffer, they have their hurt, they get hurt back, they're miserable, they have their shocks, they have their traumas, they have their loss, they have their grief and so on, and everybody. But because we project onto things, we make our authority miserably higher than they are, you know. We just put them on a pedestal, and the next thing you know, for me it's clear, if somebody put me on the pedestal, I know the next thing I'll get the pedestal on my head. Okay? It's you start recognizing the sign after a while. If somebody say, I think you're wonderful, wonderful, I wait for the mind changing and say, actually, she's not as wonderful as that, you know. You know, you get to learn the lessons of life quickly at some point. Because you don't want to waste your time on kind of recovering your sense of self because somebody has destroyed it. Do you understand? Through hurt and misery, are you going to be constantly reconstructing it, re-showing it? You know, I'm going to show you what I am. You know, you're going to know what I am, and you're not going to step on my feet next time. So, which is not a bad idea. I mean, you don't want people punching you all the time. So, yes, I mean, it's a long text, you know, but at some point, snackily with meditation, we recognize we really enjoy to smile. Whether my headmistress tell me to do that, or, you know, we're not very free when you're little, you know, you just want to make sure that you just get through the class without being noticed too much. Or if you are a kind of particular character, you just love being the super girl of the class, of the school, of the county, if you can, you know. And then, of course, you learn later on, you know, that it's not a way to peace and happiness, you know, and being a decent human being even, you know, because there's always me first, always in the center of everything. You want to be the center of everything. So, through practice, you can become yourself. Do you know, I have a good story that just come up. You know, I was being French, you know, I like to look pretty and nice, you know, I mean, like, attractive, good looking and all the rest of it, like any women, any girls, any young women, behind everything we do there is a great, aim, goal. We wouldn't be curling our hair, doing all kind of paintings, so on, and all kind of stuff. Is not just to be looking myself in a mirror, is it? You just hope somebody else is going to look at me. It's not going to be just my mirror and me. Okay? And so I remember I was smiling. I was a charmer a bit. I did not know I was a charmer. I discovered that as a meditator. Being a charmer is nothing wrong. I think it's delightful to be a charmer, personally. As long as they don't want me to be one. But so I smiled naturally. I enjoyed smiling. I enjoyed laughing. I enjoy happy moments and so on. And I enjoy making life happy. It's like when I meet people, I say hello and smile and so on, And then at some point, I decided that I had enough of that. I learned quite quickly at the beginning, particularly, so it's not too difficult. I had enough of that. I didn't blame anybody, fortunately. I had enough. It was just too stressful, to have to do that all the time. So I gave myself a particular practice. For 1 week, I was not going to smile at all. I did it. No kidding, I did it. And at some point, Ajahn Sumedho was so concerned that he asked Ajahn Sundara if he'd done something to me that made me look like this. And I think Ajahn Sundara, I contradicted. She said, no, it's a special practice. Nothing personal, nothing to do with you. But I did it. I know how habit ends, I'm very clear. Sometimes you realize you don't end them because you rather keep them. You're not that clear yet. So you don't do something for a short time after that, and I smiled when I wanted. That's for your friend. She just have to have the courage just to be really miserable looking for 1 week, no matter what happened. People say, what a lovely day. You don't have to even to say anything. You just say yes. Just for 1 week, you just try it out. See how many friends you're going to lose. That's the criteria. Maybe they've been waiting for this moment when you don't have to respond to you with such a kind of charismatic, like, smile and grand, good morning. Oh God, here she comes again. We are pitiful enough. We are answering to the world, really, to people too. So I did that, and then I felt much freer. And that's what we want. Habit doesn't make us free. At first, we don't even see habits. We defend them. Corps et âme, we say in French. Body and soul, we defend our habits. It's an expression. We kill somebody rather than to let go of an habit. Then after that, you see your habit and you don't quite know what to do yet. It's confusing because the ideal is that shouldn't be here, but then it's here. I shouldn't be, thinking, what an idiot this one, when this person is very kind to me and smiling and so on. And I don't like maybe this person very much, so I can hear my mind is kind of doing a little commentary. Yeah, I don't like that, I don't like that. While I'm talking, like having a conversation, but all the little nitty-gritty sort of the nagging voices at the back. So what do we do with that? It's just how it is. When the Buddha says thus, or how it is, that's it. Don't look for a how it is that corresponds to the book you read yesterday about anger. Your anger could be like a mass of tension in the body that you're not even aware of it because you're so used to it, you don't even know you're tense anymore. It's like you don't know you have an automatic smile in front of people until you stop it for a week. So doing a little, practice, a renunciation practice is really helpful. Just like a good habit really comes really quickly. I was always amazed, like, why don't I get this good habit of mine can be taken so quickly without even thinking a few days later. You just do it. If you have the habit of projecting all kind of things onto people, through your memories, through your old perception and so on, you say, for 1 week, I'll just look at people as if they were just empty and my mind empty. Don't cling to anything and look at them. And you realize they still exist without all my projection onto them. I still exist myself without my projection onto me. So you have to experiment, with speech. Speech is a very big one, So being polite, I think it's a basic standard to be a decent human being. Being polite. No matter what, you're polite to your cat, your dog, your cook, your cleaner, your friend, your children, even children. You're polite to the children. You don't mistreat them. That's hard, isn't it? With the kids, such an identification with the children. We can treat them the way we can treat our own self, and sometimes we're not very polite with ourselves, not very kind. So I would say to this lady who asked the question, she has to experiment. It takes courage to experiment. I don't know if I could have experimented if I hadn't been in a monastery. And then the alternative you have is a retreat, but it's the 10-day retreat, silent and looking as miserable as you can be, and nobody is going to bat an eyelid anyway. You don't have to charm anybody on retreat. So monastery is a good place to come and hang out in a normal situation with people that don't really care that much for you, or they care, but they have other business to do, so especially anybody's life, Then you can see how you respond, because in a monastery, no matter how you look, nobody is going to bother you. That's the freedom of a monastery. It's like, don't need to ordain, please. But that's what happened. That's the beauty of a monastery, is that you can really be as whatever you want to be, as long as you keep the precepts. The precepts are important. So it's coming to 55 to 1:55, and we have another. Yeah, you can have another question after the translation.
श्वेता जी का प्रश्न था कि आपने कल कहा था कि ध्यान करते हुए लोग बड़े सीरियस से रहते हैं, तो संक्षेप में मैं उनकी सारी बात कह कहूँगा कि हम कॉन्शियस हो जाते हैं अपने लुक्स के बारे में, ताकि हमारा इम्प्रेशन जो ध्यान करा रहे हैं आचार्य, उनके प्रति अच्छा इम्प्रेशन पड़े, और इस कारण से बिकम अपटाइट। तो वो चाहते हैं कि आप किस तरह से, और कि अगर हम स्माइल करते हैं तो लोग समझते हैं कि हम सीरियस नहीं हैं, तो किस तरह से हम अपने आप को क्वेश्चन पे और सहज बना सकें। तो अजान ने उत्तर दिया कि हमको ये जो एटीट्यूड रहता है कि मैं बहुत हमेशा अट्रैक्टिव रहूं लोगों के प्रति, लोग मुझे अच्छा माने, तो उस एटीट्यूड से हम खुद ऐसा कहते हैं। उन्होंने जनरली वुमेन के बारे में कहा कि हम अच्छा लगना चाहते हैं, अट्रैक्टिव लगना चाहते हैं, और फिर दूसरों को ब्लेम करते हैं कि आपके कारण ही मुझे ऐसा सब करना पड़ता है। तो ये जो सोसाइटी का सर्कस है, उसको समझना चाहिए ठीक से। हम प्राय भूल जाते हैं कि जो कुछ भी हम कर रहे हैं उसका मुख्य कारण हम खुद हैं, दूसरे नहीं हैं। लाइफ के अंदर बताया आपने, इतने सारे रोल हमें प्ले करने पड़ते हैं, कभी किसी के साथ कुछ कैसा व्यवहार, कभी किसी के साथ कैसा व्यवहार। और अगर हम अपने व्यवहार के प्रति प्रसन्न नहीं भी हैं, फिर भी हमको अपने प्रति रिस्पेक्ट जरूर रखनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वो एक आधार बनता है दूसरे की रिस्पेक्ट करने का भी। और ये अगर हम चाहें कि कोई मुझे क्रिटिसाइज ना करे, तो ये संभव नहीं है। भगवान ने स्पष्ट एक प्रवचन में कहा भी है कि संसार में कोई भी जो है वो क्रिटिसिज्म से बच नहीं सकता, तो इसलिए हमको उसको उतना महत्व नहीं देना चाहिए। और खासतौर पर जैसे जैसे हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, किसी भी हायरार्की में आगे बढ़ते हैं तो क्रिटिसिज्म भी उतना ही बढ़ता चला जाता है। और चाहे हम नन बन जाएं या मॉन्क बने, फिर भी ऐसा नहीं कि संसार हमको छोड़ देगा क्रिटिसिज्म करने से। जो हमारी एक आशा है कि संसार हमारे साथ ऐसा व्यवहार करे, इसको हमको ऐसा माने, ये एक डिल्यूजन जैसा है हमारे लिए। और हमको ये शायद चाहे वो पॉलिटिक्स का जो हो, यूनिवर्सिटी का क्षेत्र हो, चाहे घर का क्षेत्र हो, ये हमको अपने मानना चाहिए कि हम कोई सुपर ह्यूमन बीइंग बन सकते हैं और तब सभी हमको प्रेज ही करेंगे। क्योंकि हर आदमी अपने अपने ट्रॉमा से, अपने अपनी परेशानी से गुजर रहा है, और वो कैसा व्यवहार मुझ पे करता है वो सिर्फ मेरे पे डिपेंड नहीं करता, उसके मनस्थिति पे भी बहुत डिपेंड करता है। और हमारी गलती होती है कि हम उन लोगों को एक ऊंचे पेडेस्टल पे रख देते हैं और फिर वही पेडेस्टल आके हमको दुख देता है। तो ये जो एटीट्यूड है परफेक्ट बनने का, सुपर बल बनने का, ये एक्चुअली मुख्य कारण हमारी सफरिंग का होता है। तो उन्होंने फिर दृष्टांत दिया अपनी जीवन के एक उदाहरण से कि सामान्यता जैसे सभी लड़कियां होती है, उनका भी यही एटीट्यूड था कि हम अच्छे लगे हैं। और जब हम उन्होंने बात कही जो शायद सभी को चिंतन करना चाहिए कि जब कोई हम अपने आप को सुंदर बनाते हैं, इतना सब कुछ मेकअप करते हैं, तो वो क्या सिर्फ शीशे में अपने को देखने के लिए करते हैं क्या? हम यही चाहते हैं ना कि दूसरे हमको देखे और हमको अच्छा माने। तो ये एक एटीट्यूड हमारा बन जाता है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि मेरा भी ऐसा ही एटीट्यूड था, लेकिन एक बार मुझे एक समय ऐसा आया कि मैं उस सबसे तंग हो गई। तो मैंने कहा नहीं, मुझे ऐसा सब कुछ नहीं करना है। एंड उसका जो उन्होंने बताया कि मोनास्ट्री में रहते हुए जैसे उन्होंने एक हफ्ता निर्णय किया कि मैं कब बिल्कुल भी स्माइल नहीं करूंगी। यहाँ तक ऐसी स्थिति हो गई कि अजान सुमेधो को लगा कि कहीं कुछ उन्होंने उनको ऐसा कुछ तो नहीं कह दिया जिस कारण से इतनी नाराज सी रहती हैं। फिर उनको बताया गया कि एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रही हैं। तो उन्होंने बताया कि फिर ऐसी स्थिति आई कि जब मुझे ठीक लगता है तब मैं स्माइल करूं, जब नहीं लगता तो नहीं करूं। तो एक फ्रीडम हो जाती है अपनी हैबिट पैटर्न से। तो ये इस तरह के एक्सपेरिमेंट करने को आप एनकरेज कर रही हैं कि हम किसी हैबिट के अंदर फंसे रहेंगे तो हम फ्रीडम महसूस नहीं करते। लेकिन अगर हम, जरूरी नहीं है कि वो हैबिट बुरी ही हो, लेकिन अगर हम उसको देखें कि हम पे एक क्षमता है कि हम उसको अप्रोप्रिएट ओकेजन पे डिस्प्ले करें, तो वो उचित रहता है। तो हम बता रही थी कि जब मैं बात करती हूँ तो कई बार एक बैकग्राउंड में कुछ अपना आपस से ही इवैल्यूएशन चलता रहता है। तो उस बात को लेके अगर हम गुस्सा करने लगेंगे तो उचित नहीं होगा, क्योंकि वी जस्ट एक्सेप्ट कि दैट्स द वे इट इज। और अपनी आदतों का को रिनाउंस करना, उन्होंने शब्द इस्तेमाल किया, काफी अच्छी चीज होगी कि जो खासतौर पे जैसे हमारी हैबिट है दूसरों को प्रोजेक्ट करने की, या हमारी हैबिट है बात करने की, उनके प्रति भी हम एक एक्सपेरिमेंट करें, इन्वेस्टिगेट करके देखें कि क्या हमको लोगों के साथ अच्छा व्यवहार करना चाहिए। वो तो स्पष्ट है कि आवश्यक है, एक पोलाइटनेस का व्यवहार हो। लेकिन जो दूसरी चीजें हमारी हैबिट्स हैं, अगर हम उनको जान जाते हैं ये मेरी हैबिट है इस तरह की, दूसरों के ऊपर कुछ प्रोजेक्ट करने की, या मेरी वाणी की बात है, टोनर वॉइस शब्द जो है, तो एक्सपेरिमेंट करके हम देख सकते हैं, ताकि ये हैबिट्स हमको अपने बंधन में न रख सकते हैं और हम सचमुच में एक फ्रीडम का एहसास हमें प्राप्त हो। हाँ, मुख्य बात उन्होंने ये कही, हाँ इसमें इन सब बातों एक्सपेरिमेंट्स में ये बात बहुत आवश्यक है कि हम एक प्रिसेप्ट जरूर अपने बनाए रखें। तो उन्होंने कहा मोनास्ट्री में अगर आप आएंगे तो ये सब एक्सपेरिमेंट करने की काफी फ्रीडम रहती है, क्योंकि वहाँ कोई आपको बॉदर नहीं करेगा कि आप कैसी लग रही हैं और कैसी नहीं लग रही। जो आप चाहें एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते हैं वहाँ आके। और ये भी कहा कि जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको नानी बनना है तब आएंगे, वैसे भी आ सकते हैं।
This is a shorter question by Padma. Does whatever that happens in life, is it because of karma, or situations arise as a trigger?
As a trigger.
How to differentiate between karma or trigger?
You know, karma, I like to go back myself to the original meaning of the word. You know, karma means to do. I'm sure you've got an expert here. is action, isn't it? Karma. So, trigger, I mean, it's just a way of speaking about action, you know. Trigger is something that acts inwardly. It's like something happens to our mind. It triggers something in us, huh? And then action is what we do also with our mind and body. And there is a karma, talk about cause, you know. Our actions are caused by karma. So this question is really, why did this person want to know the difference between the two? Can't you send a little? No. So, when somebody steps on my feet, it triggers a desire to push them away. I have an action, and because I can have an action, or it triggers something, and as a practitioner, maybe I will observe what it triggers in me. And if I'm really trained, then I might have a way of expressing myself politely, respectfully, but firmly, clearly, that this person should not be doing that. But politely, you remain polite. So maybe a certain sound trigger in me a memory of something, right? When I think about the future, maybe people triggers in them fear and anxiety and panic. So the trigger is more like something that happens, you know, what it occasion in me, what kind of responses I get from that. And then that can trigger something else for me to act out. And so, you know, a trigger is more like a push button. An action is what we do every day, what happens every day. Karma. I don't like the idea of thinking that we're completely fated by karma, because if I believed that, I would never have done anything in my life. You know, that's the wrong interpretation for me, because we have a certain amount of free will, a certain amount of choice, you know, but we don't often know how to act on those, you know. Society makes us believe we have no choice. If you go to America, you can do what you want there. If you don't do what you want, there's something wrong with you. Do you understand? It's the opposite extreme. California. Well, I lived there for 3 years, and I taught in America for a number of years, you know, from 1990 to not that long ago. And so I know the Americans are really into trying everything. They love that. Experiment for good or for the worse, for the better or for the worse. But they have a society that's really inspired by this kind of, you know, ethic, you know, by this kind of somebody is poor and become rich, you know, and has to find a way through all the obstacles. Wow, he's a hero in America. You know, not many society allows this, do they? So, so in a way, you could say you have to have the help of karma, or, you know, the support of your actions and yourself, the support of your own being here, to find out whether you're confident to follow the way you need to follow, or maybe social circumstances prevent you to do that, or you know, sometimes when we abandon an idea, maybe something we want to do, we abandon it because we feel overwhelmed by the obstacles. But we don't have to. Some people have already worked it out that in Buddhism you ask things 3 times and maybe it will happen, as it happened in all the suttas. Very often, not maybe every time, but. So that's a good way of doing it, isn't it? Not criticizing people because they don't get what you want, but to find a nicer way to get to the point of what you wish to happen. That means you have to go slowly. If your impatient culture can't bear, doing anything slowly or waiting, things have to happen. If they don't happen very quick, then they have no value sometimes for people. So, just tell your friend, karma is action, and trigger is another action. Either way, make sure that the standards of the first 5 precepts are kept. Not harming, not stealing, or something, but lying for somebody who's taken the precept brings so much remorse, so much regret and remorse. You try to lie to make something better, to go around it. And the second lie, I remember as a laywoman, I didn't lie much, but I noticed I don't lie. I didn't lie. But if I didn't say something that was true, I noticed it forces you to find another lie to make it all right sometimes. And you keep going like that, and you spend a whole lifetime doing that. Then you're surprised not to feel happy, because you're really burdened with remorse and regret and so on. That is so difficult to bear, this kind of constant regretting. That's one of the things that really keeps you on the precept quickly. Because you really don't want to, you don't want to go into the world of misery. At this point we have to make it clear, I'm not here to be a Buddhist, I'm here to let go of all the misery in the world, in this mind and body, so I can find out what the Buddha meant, by being enlightened. Cooling down to the point of fully free from greed, hatred and delusion, attachment to them, identification, attachment, desire for them, and so on. So, is that enough, do you think?
अंतिम प्रश्न था कि जो भी जीवन में होता है क्या वो कर्म के कारण हो रहा है, और कैसे कर्म को जो ट्रिगर बाहर से आते हैं उनकी तरफ उनसे डिस्टिंग्विश किया जाए। तो आपने कहा कि कर्म जो है वो एक्शन ही होता है और ट्रिगर भी एक तरह से एक्शन के बारे में ही है। तो उदाहरण दिया कि अगर कोई मेरे पाँव पे पाँव रखता है तो मैं उसको हटाने की पूरी कोशिश करूंगी, बट आई कैन डू इट पोलाइटली एज ए मेडिटेटर। कोई हम शब्द सुनते हैं तो उससे भी ट्रिगर होता है, कोई पुरानी याद ट्रिगर हो जाती है, कोई और इंद्रिय पे कुछ और इनपुट आता है उससे भी ट्रिगर होता रहता है। तो कैसा रिस्पॉन्स हम उस ट्रिगर को देते हैं वो फिर हमारा कर्म बनता है। लेकिन ये सोचना कि मैं कर्म जो पुराने कर्म किए हैं उसी के पूरी तरह बंधा हुआ हूँ वो शायद ठीक नहीं है। हमें कुछ हद तक चॉइस अवेलेबल है। दिक्कत ये होती है कि सोसाइटी हमको कहती है कि चॉइस नहीं है, आपको इसी तरह करना चाहिए, जबकि कई ऐसी सोसाइटीज भी हैं जिसमें फ्रीडम बहुत दी जाती है। जैसे उन्होंने अमेरिका का उदाहरण दिया कि वहाँ पे लोग ये इस बात को अच्छा मानते हैं कि हम लोग कुछ भी करने को स्वतंत्र हैं। तो जब अगर हम सब काम करने में स्वतंत्रता चाहते हैं तो कई बार सोसाइटी जो है हमको प्रिवेंट कर सकती है उस तरह से करने में, और अब जिस तरह की जो दिक्कतें आती हैं उनसे ओवरवेल्म हो जाते हैं, उनसे हतोत्साहित हो जाते हैं। लेकिन अगर हम प्रयास करेंगे, जैसे उन्होंने भगवान बुद्ध की शिक्षा का उदाहरण दिया कि 3 बार कुछ काम करते हैं तो फिर वो हो जाता है, ऐसा करना पड़ता है। तो उसी तरह से उन्होंने दृष्टांत दिया कि अगर हम एफर्ट बार बार करेंगे तो जो हम चाहते हैं वो भी सकता है। और जो भी हम चाहते हैं एक अच्छे साधक होने के नाते हमको एक अच्छा रास्ता निकालना चाहिए वो करने का, क्योंकि शील का पालन बहुत आवश्यक है। ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि हम जो चाहते हैं उसको करने के लिए शील तोड़ के करेंगे तो दुख ही देंगे। अगर हम किसी हिंसा करेंगे या झूठ बोलेंगे या विचार करेंगे अपनी इच्छा पूरा करने के लिए, तो उससे दुखी होगा, पश्चाताप होगा, और फिर हम पश्चाताप की अग्नि में जलेंगे। तो हमारा उद्देश्य ये होना चाहिए कि हम किस तरह से राग, द्वेष और मोह से निकल सकें, उसको शांत कर सकें, क्योंकि हम साधना कर रहे हैं कि हम प्रसन्न रहें, सुखी रहें, ना कि हम एक बुद्धिस्ट बन जाएं और एक और आइडेंटिटी ले लें।
Okay, so now we've decided we're going to have a discussion with a group of women later. Yeah, after the sitting meditation, we're going to have first sitting instead of walking. So what I'm going to do is to ask you to maybe have 5 minutes break, like stretch and go around and move around and so on. In about 5-7 minutes, we come back and sit quietly. Yeah, and then we'll send very courteously the gentlemen outside doing their walking meditation. Nothing personal. If it was my choice, I would have everybody together, but I think it's from experience, it's much better format. Yeah. So I had to learn this from people, teachers who were more oriented than me on those topics. So please get up, don't wait for me, you can get up, go to whatever you need to do.